If you are watching this video right now, then you are already one step closer to speaking English fluently. Because most people only think about learning, but very few actually take action and start listening consistently. And today you are doing exactly what successful learners do. You are training your brain through listening. If you watch this video completely without skipping any part, you will slowly start noticing a change in your thinking. Because the real secret of speaking English confidently is not just grammar rules but repeated exposure to real conversations. And when you listen again and again, your brain starts understanding patterns without conscious effort. You might have tried learning English by reading books or memorizing difficult rules in the past, and maybe you felt confused or stuck because you couldn't form sentences while speaking in real life. But that happens because language is not only learned by studying, it is learned by listening and absorbing. Think about how you learned your first language when you were a child. You didn't start with grammar rules or complex sentence structures at all. You simply listened to people around you every day and slowly started speaking naturally. That is exactly the method we are using in this podcast, where you will not feel pressure to remember anything forcefully, but you will naturally improve just by listening to real and meaningful conversations. This is not just a simple dialogue between two characters. This is your daily speaking practice where every line is designed carefully, so that you can understand how English is actually spoken in real-life situations. So instead of trying too hard to memorize, just relax and listen, because when your mind is relaxed, it absorbs language much faster and more effectively, and this relaxed learning is the real key to fluency. And here is a small tip for you before we begin. Try to repeat the sentences after listening to them once or twice, because speaking along with the audio will boost your confidence very quickly. So now take a deep breath, clear your mind, and focus completely, because this session is going to help you think in English, not just translate from your language, and once you start thinking in English, speaking becomes automatic. Hey Mike, I was just sitting quietly and thinking about how long and exhausting this week has been. And honestly, I am feeling mentally tired because of continuous work and responsibilities, so I feel like this weekend should be something special and relaxing for both of us.
I completely understand what you are saying because I was feeling the same way last night. And after finishing all my work, I realized that I haven't taken a proper break in many days, so this weekend feels like the perfect chance to refresh and reset my mind.
Exactly, and I think taking breaks is not just about fun but also about mental health. Because when we keep working continuously without any pause, we slowly lose our energy and focus, so planning a good weekend is actually very important for maintaining balance in life.
That is very true because a balanced life always leads to better productivity. And when we give ourselves time to relax, we come back stronger and more motivated, so this weekend should definitely be about recharging ourselves completely.
So tell me honestly, do you want a relaxing weekend or an adventurous one? Because sometimes we feel like doing nothing and sometimes we want to explore something new, and I think choosing the right type of weekend is the first step of planning.
If I think about my mood right now, I feel like I want something peaceful but also interesting. Because too much excitement can be tiring and too much relaxation can become boring, so I think we should plan something that is a perfect mix of both.
That sounds like a balanced idea because we don't want to feel exhausted again. But at the same time, we also want to create some memories that feel fresh and meaningful. So maybe we can choose a place where we can relax and also explore a little.
Yes, and I was actually thinking about going somewhere surrounded by nature. Because nature always has a calming effect on the mind and helps reduce stress, so maybe a park, a riverside, or a small hill area could be a good option.
I love that idea because natural places always make me feel peaceful and happy. And when we sit in a calm environment, our conversations also become deeper and more real, so it would be perfect not just for relaxing but also for meaningful discussions.
Also, since we are creating content for our English learning channel, we can record our conversations in that natural setting, which will feel more authentic, and our audience will enjoy learning English through real-life situations.
Yes, and when people see natural conversations instead of scripted lines, they feel more connected because they can imagine themselves in the same situation. So this weekend plan can actually help us improve our content quality as well.
Now I am actually getting excited about this plan because it feels productive and fun. And when we combine learning with enjoyment, the experience becomes more valuable, so I think we should definitely finalize something soon.
Wait, before we finalize, let's explore more ideas because sometimes better ideas come later. And discussing different possibilities also makes the planning process enjoyable, so let's think about a few more options before making the final decision.
That is a good approach because exploring ideas helps us choose wisely. And we don't want to rush into a plan that we might regret later, so let's list down a few options and compare them properly.
Okay, so one option is going to a quiet park. Another option could be visiting a nearby hill station for a short trip. And a third option could be staying home but doing something creative together.
All three options sound interesting, but each has a different vibe. And we need to decide based on what we need the most right now. So let's analyze each option one by one carefully. You know, Miley, while we are planning all this, I just realized something important, that conversations like these are actually a powerful way of learning English. Because people listening are not just learning words but understanding how sentences are formed naturally.
Yes, Mike, and I think the biggest problem people face is hesitation, because they are afraid of making mistakes and being judged by others. But in reality, mistakes are a natural part of the learning process.